Welcome back once again. In today's session, we're going to discuss about the continuation of the last part where we left. So in the last session, I discussed question number 1 to 5 of digital SAT math. Today, I'll be discussing from question number 6 to question number 10. All right. So let's start with the question number 6 here. It says a store A sells raspberries for $5.5 per pint and blackberries for $3 per pint. Store B sells raspberries for $6.5 per pint and blackberries for $8 per pint. A certain purchase of raspberries and blackberries would cost $37 at store A or $66 at store B. Now question says, how many pints of blackberries are in this purchase? So we are asked to find out how many pins of blackberries are there in this purchase. So it's basically a system of equations in two variables. So these kind of questions, you have to create an equation and then you have to solve to get the answer. So let me assign here number of raspberries what we are asked, consider it as X, and the number of blackberries, consider it as Y. Okay. A store A sells X number of raspberries for $5.5 per pint and Y number of blackberries for $3 per pint. And store A is earning a total amount of $37 by selling these two items. Then how do you create an equation here? So $5.5 per pint and store A is selling X number of dollars. So total amount they earned by selling raspberries plus 3 times Y, that is the total amount they earned by selling blackberries, is equal to $37. This is for store A. Similarly, store B sells 6.5 per pint of blackberries. Store B sells raspberries for 6.5 per pint. It's basically 6.5x plus 8y is equal to $66 because the total amount what the store B charges is equal to $66. It says 6.5 times X number of raspberries plus 8 times Y number of blackberries together gives us $66. Okay. Once you're done with this, take help of desmos and solve it. So how do we gonna do this? Let me just type it as one equation is 5.5x plus 3y equal to, I think, 37. Let me just check it up. Yes, equal to 37. Enter. In the second equation, what we have 6.5x plus 8y equal to 66. I think it's 66. Yes. So these are the two system of equation. And what is the solution to this? Where the system of equations are intersecting. What I can see here at the point of intersection, X is 4, Y is 5. By solving system of equation, I'm getting it as X equals to 4 and Y equal to 5. And we are asked to count or calculate how many number of blackberries have been sold. I can see that blackberries we have assigned to Y. So there are 5 pins of blackberries has been sold. So I go with option C. If they ask you a question, how many pins of raspberries? It's supposed to be 4 because that's we assigned as X. So here we are asked us to calculate the blackberries. So C is the right answer here. Let's work on question number 7. It says g of x is equal to x square plus 55. What is the minimum value for the given function? See, if you are good at analyzing the functions and all, without doing anything, you can go with the right answer. In this case, right answer is going to be 55. Now, why I'm saying so? Because as you can see that x is getting squared, regardless whether the x value is positive or negative, regardless of it, the square of it is always positive. So this never be lesser than any number, provided when the x is gonna be 0, then only this term will be having minimum value. Okay. Otherwise, it always, whether you are taking x as positive or negative, it always getting bigger and bigger. So this function will be having minimum value when x is equals to 0, and that could be 55. That's how you analyze by looking at the expressions. Let's say in the case, if you don't know how do I analyze and all, let's take the help of desmos, most of the questions can be solved here. So I can type it as g of x or simply y equal to x square plus 55. So what is the minimum value this function or graph can have? That is this. I can see here, this graph is having minimum as 55 and going up to infinity. So this is the least value that function could have. So I go with option C. As I told, in either way, it's fine. If you observe very carefully, this term never be least value except x equal to 0. 0 plus 55, that will be the minimum this entire function could give, or else take help of desmos, it will give you right answer immediately. Let's solve question number 8 here. It says the function h is defined by h of x equals to a to the power x plus b, where a and b are positive constants. The graph of y equal to h of x in the xy plane passes through the points 0, 10 and negative 2, 325 over 36. What is the value of AB? It's basically what is the value of A times B. Now what we're supposed to do by making use of this function, basically expression, by using the coordinates, find the value of A and B, then multiply them. So let's start with this because this is the point what has been given. X is 0, y is going to be 10. Generally, whenever we are given this kind of coordinates, you have to consider first value as x, second as y. X is 0, y as 10, and you can substitute in this equation. Y is same as h of x, f of x, g of x, y axis. Always we read the output of the function on the y axis. So this will be the result of h of x when x is 0. So make use of this. H of x is equal to a to the power x plus b. Substitute h of x as 10, that is 10 equal to a to the power 0 plus b, 10 equal to a to the power 0. Any number to the power 0 is 1 regardless of what that number is. Okay, this is the rule, or you can check it by using calculator. Plus b, what I get. Now if you rearrange the terms, so 10 minus 1 equals to b, that gives me the value of b here, it is going to be 9. I've found b value. Okay, now we need to find for a. Now after finding b, what would be your expression? Your given function becomes h of x is equal to a to the power x plus 9. I'm replacing b by 9. Now to solve for a, let's take use the another coordinates. Okay, so let's make use of this one. I can't use the first one because in that x is 0, I just get a value of b only, which we have already done. So in this case, this is the value of x and this is the value of y, which is basically h of x value. So type it carefully. 325 by 36 is equal to a to the power negative 2 plus 9. So it's a complex equation to solve. Okay. So rather than doing, you can just put it in the desmos. What I have to do is whenever you get this kind of situation and needs to solve by using a desmos, type that expression or equation in terms of x or y. You can't type it in terms of a, b, t because desmos is basically a graphing part. So it always gives you answer in terms of x and y. So you have to type at the place of a as x. So let me type this one as, let me cancel the previous one. It is 325 divided by 36. I think it's right? Yeah, 325 divided by 36. 36 is equal to x to the power negative 2 plus b value is 9. So what I'm getting here, x to the power negative 2 plus 9, as I said, it gives you calculator will give you the values. So you need not to do anything. So what I'm getting here, value of x, I'm getting basically value of a here. One is positive 6 and another one is negative 6. I'm getting a here. By solving it, I'll be getting it as a is equal to plus or minus 6. But as question clearly told us, a and b has to be a positive constant. So you have to take a value of a as 6, which is positive 6. Now I got b, I got a. Now question is, what is the value of a times b? A times b is same as 6 times 9. 6 times 9 is going to be 54. So we go with option C. Let's work on question number 9 here. X minus 1 square equal to negative 4. How many distinct real solutions does the given equation have? What do you mean by distinct real solution? Distinct means different, and real solutions are basically any number, positive, negative, zero, decimal, fraction, regardless. They all are called real numbers. Okay. It should not be imaginary. So how many distinct real solution this equation can have? Now, if you look at to the given equation carefully, and the given options carefully, what I can observe here, x minus 1 square, regardless of the value of x, whether it is 0, plus 1, minus 1, whatever, minimum value this term can have it as 0. X minus 1 square is greater than or equal to 0. It means minimum value it can have it as 0 or higher. Why so? Because it's entirely getting squared. So there is no such value of x which make this entire expression equal to negative 4. Then in that case, I should say there are zero distinct real solutions, because a positive cannot be equal to negative, right? So this term cannot be negative. Minimum it can have it as 0 or higher. So that's why we are saying there will be zero real distinct solutions. Let's solve question number 10. Which expression is equivalent to 4 by 4x minus 5 minus 1 by x plus 1? They're asking us which of the following is equivalent to this. I can solve it in 2 to 3 different ways. One is by using the graphing calculator. Another, I can solve it manually. But manually will be the most quicker as compared to graphing, because there we have to type it all and we have to check the equivalent one. So anyway, I'll teach some that relevant question in some other way. In some other example. So let's start doing here manually. How do we do that? Whenever question asks us to add or subtract fractions, your main concern is to make a denominator to be same. Basically, make common denominator. How do I do in this situation? You can cross multiply, by the way. You can multiply denominator of the second term with the numerator of it. You can multiply denominator of the first term with the numerator of the second, and then multiply them with each other. That's how you can make a common denominator for expression. So this becomes now 4 times x plus 1 minus 1 times 4x minus 5 divided by, just multiply them, 4x minus 5 times x plus 1. Now don't go for simplifying the denominator, because denominator we have the same whatever they have written, and also the one of them is simplified probably, but focus more on numerator. How do we do that next? 4 times x, just use a distribution. 4 times x is going to be 4x plus 4 times 1 is going to be 4. This minus sign is already there. 1 times 4x is going to be 4x. Minus times minus is going to be plus. 1 times 5 is going to be 5. Minus 1 times minus 5 is plus 5, by the way. Okay, so in that case, what is the denominator here? Same as it is, 4x minus 5 times x plus 1. So positive 4x, negative 4x gets cancelled out, and 4 plus 5, which is equal to 9, divided by 4x minus 5 times x plus 1. So this is your answer. So I go with option A.